Ooh, it's just loading up. Hello, Year 6. Right, today's lesson, you are going to be looking at the invisible lines of the Earth. And these are lines that we call longitude and latitude. Some of you may have heard those words before. So to start with, you need to be handing round, maybe two of you could hand them round, a KWL grid. And what I would like you to do in this section, I would like you just to quickly write down what you already know. What do you know anything about the lines of longitude and latitude? Is there anything that you would like to know? That can go in this middle bit. And then this bit on the end, I want you to leave blank for now because I'm going to ask you to look at that at the end of the lesson. So pause the video and give yourself a few minutes to fill these in and then come back to me. Okay, your learning objective for today then is to learn to identify the position and significance of latitude, longitude, equator, the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn, the Arctic and Antarctic circles, the prime or Greenwich meridian, and time zones, including day and night. Don't worry, I know that does sound like an awful lot, but we covered most of that last lesson. Okay. Latitude and longitude are invisible lines that form a grid over the Earth. These lines help to create a coordinate to locate a place accurately. Now, coordinates you should have come across in maths, and they're what we use to to be able to find things accurately. Sat-navs use coordinates, the satellite navigation systems. So your lines of latitude are these ones, okay, that go around, and your lines of longitude are the ones that come down. So your lines of latitude, also known as parallels, circle the Earth from east to west, so that's right to left. These invisible lines are all the same distance apart, and one line to the next is known as 1 degree. Each degree of latitude is separated into smaller divisions called minutes. There are 60 minutes in 1 degree. Each minute is then divided into 60 seconds, not always included within the coordinate. As you can see from the diagram, the equator lies at 0 degrees, so right in the middle here. Okay, then you've got 10 degrees, 20, 30, and so on. The equator is an important line of latitude. It is an imaginary line halfway between the North and South poles. Countries near to the equator, let me just turn that off there. Countries near to the equator are very hot, as this is the Earth's closest point to the sun. Other important lines of latitude are the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. Okay, the Tropic of Cancer lies at 23.5 degrees north, and Capricorn lies at 23.5 degrees south of the equator. The area of the Earth which lies between both of these lines is called the tropics. Other important lines of latitude are the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. The Arctic Circle lies at 66.5 degrees north, and the Antarctic Circle lies at 66.5 degrees south. The areas in blue and orange are those which have 4 distinct seasons. Think about what a season is. It's like 4 distinct times of the year. So at the moment, we're just entering spring. Now I would like you to imagine the Earth cut in half, sliced through the middle. Okay, the northern hemisphere is this part at the top, and it's anywhere north of the equator. And the southern hemisphere is all this bit down the bottom here, anywhere that's south of the equator. So now longitude. These are the lines which run north and south and are known as the lines of longitude or meridians of longitude. These lines are measured in the same way as the latitude lines. Lines of longitude are not equidistant from each other. The prime meridian or Greenwich meridian line is a line of longitude at 0 degrees. So if you see that here, look, 0 degrees is this one. And it passes right through, just up here, Greenwich in London. So to locate a place, this is the information that we use and how we use it. So those letters and numbers we put together and create a coordinate. Within the coordinate, this little here, little O here, stands for degrees, and this little apostrophe here stands for minutes. The letters that you can see relate to north, south, east, or west, and they are shown as capital letters. The latitude is always given first, so the east to west is always given first. For example, to locate Florida in USA, we would say it has the following coordinates. So you have 28 degrees 0 minutes north, 82 degrees 00 minutes west. Now there's some other cities there: Edinburgh, Canberra, Yamoussoukro, and Madrid. Look at the map on the next slide and see if you can find these places. So maybe if your teacher could write those coordinates on the board for you, and then you can see if you could find them as a class on this next map. Okay, here's your map. It's not very easy to see. It doesn't seem to have gone onto the slide very well. But see if you can give it a go. Where do you think you would find those 4 cities? Pause the video here and then come back and we'll have a look at the results. Okay, that's a bit easier to see there. So Edinburgh we have up here, just here. Madrid is just here, quite close to each other. Yamoussoukro is just here in Africa, and then we've got Canberra down here in Australia. Well done if you got all those right. So, satellite navigation systems, or sat-navs, which is what I mentioned earlier, allow you to input those latitude and longitude coordinates instead of an address. So you don't just have to put an address in there, you can put those letters and numbers. Those coordinates will get you to wherever it is you wanted to go just as easily as if you put a postcode or an address in. Right, now we're going to be looking at time zones, and there's a little clip here that I would like you to watch. So pause the video, watch the clip, and then we will carry on in just a moment. So, time is different depending on where you are in the world. If it's daytime in the UK, it will be nighttime in Australia. And this is how it works. Midday, so 12 noon, is the time when the sun is highest up in the sky. The sun is highest in the sky at different times in different places in the world. So for every place in the world to have midday when the sun is highest, we have to divide the world into time zones. So the Earth is a sphere, okay, and it's divided into 360 degrees. The Earth turns those 360 degrees in 24 hours. So if we divide the 360 by 24, we know that the Earth will turn 15 degrees each hour. The Earth has 24 different time zones, and local time depends on which time zone you are in. All time zones are measured from a starting point at England's Greenwich Observatory. This point, which is just down here, look, this little red dot, this point is known as the Greenwich Meridian or the Prime Meridian. Time at the Greenwich Meridian is known as Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT, or Universal Time. So you might see that when you set your clock on your phone. You may be asked which time zone you're in, and if you can find Greenwich Mean Time or GMT, That's what it stands for where we are in the UK. The Eastern Time Zone in the United States is known as GMT minus 5 hours. This means that when it's noon in the Eastern USA, it's 5 p.m. in Greenwich. The International Date Line, IDL, another invisible line, is located on the opposite side of the planet from the Greenwich Observatory. So if you look here, this is where we are. So GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, if it's noon, as you go towards the west, you can see that time is kind of going backwards. So -6, -7, okay? And then if you travel east, we're going forwards in time. So +3, +4, +5, okay? So the further away you go from GMT here, in England, Greenwich Mean Time, the further you're going into the future. So, little activity. I would like you to complete these questions into your books, and then you're also going to have a sheet come round which has got the earth on it and all those lines, imaginary lines, and some keywords. I would like you to answer these questions and then complete the worksheet. So you need to label the earth with the correct word for each line. And then I would like you to look at the time zone activity and see if you can work out what time it will be in each time zone, so in each country. So pause the video, answer these questions for me into your books, and then have a go on the worksheet. Okay, if you have time, because you might be near the end of the lesson, if you can do a little table in your book with lines of latitude and lines of longitude, can you put these words here, prime meridian, equator, Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn, and Greenwich Meridian, which box or which side of your table do you think they go? Okay, so this is just a bit of an extra one if you've got time. Pause the video while you do that. And finally, again, if you have time, can you write a fact that you've learned beginning with each of the following letters? So you've got Earth there. So for example, E for Earth, Earth turns 15 degrees each hour. What fact can you come up with for A, R, T, and H? And that is the end. So those last couple of tasks are just for if you've got time at the end, and it's a bit of extra work for those who may have finished already. This will be the last lesson now before the Easter holidays, so I hope you have a lovely break, and I will see you all when we come back. Take care, Year 6. Bye bye.